Well, with me in this segment of the Red Couch interview is a lady who is no stranger to Barbadians. She's well known in the business world. She's very entrepreneurial. She started many businesses, and I'm sure many of the ladies who will watch this interview know all about her. And we guys know a lot about her too as well. I know her as the lady who's engineered the red caps and put them in these lovely uniforms, who's got the meet and greet services, who's got the L'Oreal stores here in Lime Grove and several other business ventures. Who is Shelly Williams?
Oh my gosh, Vic. Oh dear. I think this is a question that every woman wants to know, about themselves.
Yes.
Who am I? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mother of 2 children. Most people know I'm a wife, but there are other aspects to me. I'm into building children and mentorship, and I love to cook. I love to cook. And
see, I didn't know that. That I didn't know.
You see, many people don't know I love to cook.
For example, something like the Red Cap service, I would never have thought of taking these guys and rebranding that and so on. What made you think of that?
Well, most people said to me, "Oh my gosh, do not go there. It's trouble. It's trouble." I don't see it as that. I saw, when people don't give a good service or they're not living to the best of their ability, there are different aspects that must happen. We can't, quite often, we blame that person. We say, "Oh, well, okay, they're not giving good service. Those red caps are a pain." I didn't see it like that. Working in my service business, I didn't see it like that. I saw several individuals that were no leadership, minimal to no leadership. I didn't see them wearing any good uniforms. I feel like if a man looks well, if a woman looks well, she dresses well, there's a difference in her personality and how she deals with people. Almost like ladies and gentlemen dealing with serving ladies and gentlemen. And I felt like if there was a need for someone to represent them, to let them know what their role is into tourism, their significant role into the airport in Barbados, and once I got that, they welcomed it. I thought it was going to be difficult. It wasn't.
A lot of your businesses have been interested in niches, like your meet and greet service, for example. Again, thinking up something like that and offering that as a service, who would have thought, sitting on the outside looking in, that there is an opportunity there? But clearly you saw, again, from the service aspect, an opportunity.
But I think it came from my personality as a child. I'm one of 4, and I always liked to serve. My mom would entertain, and I would be the person serving. And it never felt like if I was a maid or servitude. I just loved it. I loved to make for everything to go well and for people to feel happy.
Let's talk a little bit about Shelly Williams now. Not the businesswoman, but Shelly Williams, the person. So cooking, that's any particular type of cuisine that you specifically like?
I dine out so much and have part of my travels. Some people like to go to museums. I want to go to the restaurants. I want to try the local cuisine. I want to try new things and see if I can incorporate it into my cooking. But I guess, again, it comes back down to service and experience.
The fear of failure perhaps holds us back.
Absolutely.
From making the effort.
And especially for women. We're scared because we look at our children. We think about how we're going to pay the bills. We are less risk takers than men are. And
so you think women are more risk averse than men?
Yes, absolutely. We think about everything. We don't want to spend our last dime because we don't know where it's going, and obviously the children are on us, and every decision we make affects those children. I remember my children were young when I started my meet and greet, and I would have to go to the airport very early in the morning or the hotels very early in the morning to collect luggage for the departure service. I would literally have my 2 small ones in the back of the car and beg the bellman, can you watch them whilst I go inside and deal with my clients, and then jump back in the car and go to the airport. And meanwhile, I did have a husband, but still, it's always on us. So we have to balance. Being a woman is a balancing act.
So we agree that fear of failure sometimes holds us back from reaching our potential, and that you should experience failure. If you don't experience failure at some point in something, then you don't learn how to pick yourself up when the chips are down and really begin to battle back. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Shelly, you mentioned travel, and you mentioned your love of places, certain places that you like to go to. What specifically, give me a couple of examples of places that you love, and why.
My 2 favorite places, Vic, Miami. I love Miami.
Yeah.
And London.
Miami and London. Okay. Why?
Miami for me is, I don't know, that's like Barbados all over again. It's the Caribbean. I love it. We have a small home there, and one of my children went to school there, and it just feels like home to me. So I love and London. Oh man, there's so much history. Only when you go to London you understand certain things about Barbados of itself. You learn things about Barbados, and why we do what we do, and places.
There's a buzz, there's an energy about it.
I love it.
You know, the food, the culture, the architecture. For me, Miami is where I would shop, because I go and I get my shopping done. I'm sure you ladies do.
I don't do any shopping.
Oh, no.
No
not
shopping.
Not at all.
Not me.
Those big suitcases I see busy lugging with are clearly his carry-on luggage. Let us talk about philanthropy, because I know that you do have that side to you. You love to help other people, and you love to do things to assist, as does your husband too as well, to a very large extent. Tell me about your philanthropy, the things that motivate you, and why.
Well, right now the children, I think everybody is talking about, the latest thing we have done is the back to school drive. Well, my children are all grown now, and so I immediately thought in September, well, I don't have any little school books to buy and things like that. And I was in Miami and seeing all these things at Walmart and those places, and for nothing. And I thought of all those children, if I could just pack boxes of this stuff and just send it back. And I did.
So philanthropy is part and parcel of your makeup.
But I like to be in the background if I'm going to be doing it.
All right. The definition that I like of charity is where you do something for someone who can do absolutely nothing for you in return. And that is the essence of real giving. So let's talk about a little bit now about likes and dislikes. Things that really turn you off. Give me one or two, Shelly.
Oh my God. What really turns me off? Very Veronica. I'm sorry. I hate how we bash each other on media as Barbadians. We tear each other apart. That, I don't even understand why we do it as women and why we do it as a society. And that hurts me to the core. And it doesn't affect me, but it hurts me to the core when it comes to, in other words, I would never allow anything like that to define who I am. But it really affects the lives of a lot of young people and families and stuff like that. But then we continue to read it, we continue to feed into it. So, and
that's the issue. And that's my position, like you. I will not read stuff like that, because if the more we read it, the more we're feeding it. Yes. Yeah. So it's that gossiping that's taken to a whole other level because of social media.
And sometimes the opportunities come from something that you've been doing. Someone might be sent home today, and they started preparing a meal, cooking something, juicing. and before you know it, it's a lucrative business.
Well, let's look at all the food trucks and
absolutely
small food vendors who are making a good living out of it.
And the most I have seen in terms of the natural juices and the turmerics and the shots and stuff like that, even people that are going back into the gym and doing the whole training people, there's so much going on. So I mean, if you were busy at work, or you'll be still thinking about this.
Right.
I'm not saying that we're promoting job loss, but let it not be the end of your life right there. It's time to try something. All of us have something that we envision as very young that we wanted to do. Probably now is the opportunity, and now is the time
to do it.
My saying is always taking my hobbies and interests and turn it into viable businesses, because it never feels like work.
Thank you very much. Shelly Williams, well-known Barbadian entrepreneur. You notice I never mentioned your partner's name, your husband's name, once, right? We never did, because I want to have a separate interview with him, and I'm going to have to use you to get me into that interview. But thank you very much for taking time out for the Red Couch interview. It gave us an opportunity to learn and to know a little bit more about yourself. And I hope that young people watching this interview would say, I want to be like her. I can be like her. And not believe that you arrived at where you are as the Shelly Williams today, but that you went on a journey, and that journey involved ups and downs, peaks and troughs, failures and successes.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing a little bit of your story with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Shelly Williams.
Hi, I'm Vic Fernandes from Capital Media HD 99.3. If you viewed this video and you liked it, check out our other content on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram.